15:11-32. So this is talking about the prodigal son. He wanted his inheritance while his father was alive. He then hired himself out after he squandered all of that. And down here it sounds like he lived a very promiscuous life too. And then after that, I remember I heard a sermon about this on Christmas when I was in high school, and this was actually the story that brought me to faith, because my pastor was saying how right here, like when he set out to come to his father, I know that he knows that his father, the hired people that his father hired, had a better life than him. So he came to his father, but when he was still a long way off, his father felt him and saw compassion for him, and then ran and embraced him and kissed him. So that was the pastor explained a little bit more about this. That means for this to happen, the father must be standing, waiting for him, looking out for him, maybe day after day, all this time that he spent squandering his life. The father kept on looking, kept on expecting, kept on waiting. And not only that, when he ran, the pastor said that back then they were roped, so they actually girded up, so they actually was kind of like holding it, or maybe like putting tying it so that they can freely run. So that's like a loss of dignity, but the father didn't care. All he saw was his son returning back to him, and that's how God, the attitude of God towards us. And when I understood that, I just felt so touched by the love that God has for us. Even though he's all powerful, he's still waiting for us. He's still looking out for us. He's still like wooing us, is what the Bible actually said. He pursues after us and try to convince us to come back to him. And he was so joyful. He threw a party, and he said, this son of mine was dead and has come to life again, was lost and has been found. And then when I read on, like recently, maybe within the last 5 or so years, a thought has been in my head that it's talk about the parable of the lost son, the prodigal son. So the prodigal son is of course the one that returned. However, I think there's the story of the older son, who actually is the real lost one here. He was with his father, but he didn't know the love that his father has for him. He didn't know his father. He was mad at his father for throwing a party for his brother. He obviously did not have a loving heart towards his brother. He was kind of bitter. And then he compared. And so he did all the right things. He even stayed with the father throughout the time, but outwardly, but his heart, there's no love or no compassion. And so yeah, I would think it's like this, looking from the older sons, at the older son, there's another like layer that we can learn from this parable, to not be like that person. We might be doing all the right thing, going to church and everything like that, but if we don't have the love of relationship, and we don't see our God, who is our dad, who is our father, as a loving figure in our life, I think we lost the main message.